I was working evening shift patrol. I just finished a traffic stop and started headed back towards the PD actually to get done for the night. I don't remember anything from the accident itself. It knocked me unconscious when she came from behind me, and my first time seeing my patrol car after the wreck, it just kind of shocked and blew me away because they were trying to get stuff out of there. Everything was like smashed and trapped in the back. They couldn't open it. Split open the back of my head where I ended up with 13 staples. I'd sustained a minor traumatic brain injury. I had the 2 torn hip labrums, the left and the right hip. So those both required surgery. I kept hearing that like, well, we might have to send you to Dallas or we might have to send you to Houston because there's nobody in Tyler who does that surgery, and that's the type of surgery you're gonna need for this. My doctor, I guess he started looking around a little bit and found Dr. Bartley with Azalea Orthopedics.
When I first met Abby, she was in the line of duty with the Tyler Police Department. She had been rear-ended by a drunk driver and in the process suffered traumatic labral tears in both hips. It's very painful whenever people do have a labral tear in the hip and can debilitate them and prevent them from being active and doing the things that they enjoy doing. Once I got to know Abby, I quickly realized that she was a very motivated individual. She's a competitive runner. She ran in college and she was motivated to continue to run at a very high level. Unfortunately, the injuries that she had suffered to her hips were quickly preventing her from running and doing the things that she loved to do.
I explained to him my goals of trying to hit an Olympic qualifier in the marathon, and I was just like, I've had so many people tell me, out of my doctors that have treated me so far, that I should just give those up, that there's just no way I'm gonna even be able to run faster competitively again, that I'll maybe be able to run for fun, but nothing fast like I did before the wreck. He's just like, nope. He's like, that's not a good enough, answer for me. He's like, we're gonna get you back at it. And so at that moment, I finally had hope. I knew God brought the right people into my corner.
Abby did a great job of communicating to me what her goals were, which was to return to a very active lifestyle and continue to be competitive in the activities that she enjoys, like running. So we came up with a game plan to treat one hip at a time.
He wanted me to be able to recover with them pretty close together versus, having to recover fully from one and then have to start all over again. He's like, we can actually have these surgeries within, 6 to 7 weeks of each other. Going in that day to surgery, I just had so much peace about it, and talking to him and the rest of his staff there, even the anesthesiologist at that point, like you could just see the team aspect there, and that they prayed for me as well, and that meant the world to me. When I went back in for my 2-week follow-up, he was just very impressed with the progress my hip had already done. He said, besides the surgery going really well, he said I just was healing already so quickly and so fast. So I'm at the 4-week follow-up, got to ditch the crutches, and then a few weeks later I went back under for the right hip. He was so quick about getting me, started on physical therapy. Once he cleared me to start running, that was 12 weeks after the second surgery.
Typically, return to sport after labral repairs in the hip are approximately 70 to 85%, depending on which study you look at. So to have bilateral labral tears and to have surgery on both sides and return to competitive running is significant. It takes a lot of motivation.
So I did tell Bartley, I said, do you think I'll be able to run Fresh 15 this coming year competitively again? I had told Bartley that. I said, hey, I want to be good to go running-wise for the Fresh, and that was another reason why he tried to get my 2 hip surgeries as close together as he could, so that my whole physical therapy process would let me rehab both hips without either one lagging behind. We started kind of trying to bump up the intensity in some of my running a little bit, trying to get it to where I could sustain 20 minutes pain-free. It was just so exciting to see along the process how quickly we were hitting these milestones that I needed to hit, and I started getting more confident about being ready for Fresh 15. I had about 2 or so months to get my pace up a little bit more, and then by Fresh 15 of 2022, that was the longest run I had done since the wreck. And it was really exciting to be able to do that and have my husband run it for the first time with me, because he was also my biggest supporter that helped get me through probably the toughest year and a half I'd ever had.
Once you get to know Abby and understand the person that she is, I was not surprised that she was able to recover from both surgeries and actually compete and win the Fresh 15 in Tyler. I
was crying tears of joy after I crossed the finish line at Fresh, and I was so excited to be able to go back to Bartley and just let him know, like, hey, Fresh went so good, I couldn't have done it without you. And I tell him all the time how much it meant to me that I couldn't have asked for a better surgeon and that I wish we had more doctors like him.
I think that both her and I viewed this as just one more challenge that she would overcome, and I was fortunate enough to be a part of that and help her heal.
To have that back in my life has meant the world to me. I've been so happy. I have a renewed appreciation when I'm out running now, even on the days where I don't feel as good. I'm like, man, I don't just have to run today because of my goals I get to run. Isaiah 40:31, but those who trust in the Lord will find new strength. They will soar high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint.